Barcode scanners. Many different types of barcode scanning machines exist, but they all work on the same fundamental principles. They all use the intensity of light reflected from a series of black and white stripes to tell a computer what code it is seeing. White stripes reflect light very well, while black stripes reflect hardly any light at all. The barcode scanner shines light sequentially across the barcode, simultaneously detecting and recording the pattern of reflected and non-reflected light. The scanner then translates this pattern into an electrical signal that the computer can understand. All scanners must include computer software to interpret the barcode once it's been entered. This simple principle has transformed the way we are able to manipulate data and the way in which many businesses handle record keeping.
Oceanographer. For many years, the favorite horror story about abrupt climate change was that a shift in ocean currents could radically cool Europe's climate. These currents, called the overturning circulation, bring warm water and warm temperatures north from the equator to Europe. Susan Luzier, an oceanographer at Duke University, says scientists have long worried that this ocean circulation could be disrupted.
Emerald is defined by its green color. To be an emerald, a specimen must have a distinctly green color that falls in the range from bluish-green to slightly yellowish-green. To be an emerald, the specimen must also have a rich color. Stones with weak saturation or light tone should be called green beryl. If the beryl's color is greenish-blue, then it is an aquamarine. If it is greenish-yellow, it is a heliodor. This color definition is a source of confusion. Which hue, tone, and saturation combinations are the dividing lines between green beryl and emerald? Professionals in the gem and jewelry trade can disagree on where the lines should be drawn. Some believe that the name emerald should be used when chromium is the cause of the green color, and that stones colored by vanadium should be called green beryl. Calling a gem an emerald instead of a green beryl can have a significant impact upon its price and marketability. This color confusion exists within the United States. In some other countries, any beryl with a green color, no matter how faint, is called an emerald. Christine Jones. Rebuilding carbon-rich agricultural soils is the only real, productive, permanent solution to taking excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Pip Courtney. She's frustrated that scientists and politicians don't see the same opportunities she sees. Christine Jones. This year, Australia will emit just over 600 million tons of carbon. We can sequester 685 million tons of carbon by increasing soil carbon by 0.5% on only 2% of the farms. If we increased it on all of the farms, we could sequester the whole world's emissions of carbon.
For a long time now, it's been a widely accepted and rarely questioned belief that a strong corporate culture goes hand in hand with success. However, a recent study has cast some doubt on this principle. After all, the authors of the report argue for culture. A company builds up may be strong, but wrong. There is little point in every employee marching to the same tune if they are all marching in the wrong direction.
It's a given that most babies wear diapers, in Western cultures anyway, but diapers may trap more than waste. They may also confine a baby's ability to walk. Scientists compared the walking gaits of 60 babies who were either naked, wore a thin disposable diaper, or a thick cloth diaper. Half the babies were 13-month-old novice walkers and the other half 19-month-old experienced walkers. When the 30 13-month-olds walked naked, only 10 fell. But while wearing the cloth diaper, 21 of them fell, and while wearing the disposable, 17 of them fell. Among the 19-month-olds, only 4 fell while naked or wearing disposables, while 8 fell while wearing cloth diapers. But both age groups took wider and shorter steps while wearing diapers, as opposed to walking naked. The research is in the journal Developmental Science. The study can't predict if wearing diapers has a long-term impact. Nonetheless, the researchers believe walking naked would speed up walking development. But then we are left with the issue of covering the entire house in plastic and relying heavily on the child's ability to communicate his or her elimination intentions.
The Curiosity rover has achieved plenty of firsts in its 6 months on Mars, and the last first is especially noteworthy. On February 9th, NASA announced that Curiosity had made the inaugural run of its drill, boring into a rock to extract a sample from the interior. It thus became the first robot ever to drill on Mars. Curiosity has now gotten some use from most of its science instruments, but not all of them are working. At a conference at UCLA, Deputy Project Scientist Ashwin Vasavada explained that problems are facing the rover's wind and humidity sensors.
The humidity sensor is being calibrated. They think it's still going to produce some good data. It's measuring a good signal. It's just the physical units don't quite make sense right now.
Worse is the wind sensor, damaged during the rover's landing.
The wind sensor is actually 6 different sensors. We lost 2 of them during landing, and the other 4 are proving pretty hard to interpret as well. So we actually have no wind data yet.
A few glitches are to be expected. After all, the Curiosity rover, with its unprecedented size and complexity, is a first in and of itself.
What we're bringing for our users is basically an immersive experience of a huge portion of the NASA Kennedy Space Center facility.
Ryan Failer, project manager of Google Street View. In honor of the center's 50th anniversary, Street View is adding more than 6,000 images of the Space Center, the starting point for Apollo and Space Shuttle missions.
So you can go into the facility, you can go into some of the large areas there like the vehicle assembly building. You can go down to the launch pad and actually go up several floors of the launch pad and see where the astronauts would walk and where they would go as they were boarding the shuttle.
The shuttle is now a thing of the past, but someday Kennedy will host a new generation of spacecraft.
So when we were there, we actually got to take a snapshot of these structures and these systems in place, before all those transitions happened, right? And many of those facilities are going to be decommissioned or converted to different uses. The opportunity to kind of capture that moment in Street View and preserve it, make it accessible to people around the world is I think, really valuable and important.
In electronics, there's an understanding that silicon and other elements are responsible for bringing our gadgets to life, while plastic serves as the supporting structure. But what if that plastic could be both the brains and the brawn? Better yet, what if plastic was pliable enough to form all sorts of wearable electronics and even implantable medical devices? In fact, electronics made from conductive plastic have been in the works for at least a decade. One of the difficulties has been overcoming a loss of conductivity when plastic electronics are stretched too far. A team of researchers from the US, South Korea, and China say they have found a way to keep an electrical connection even after stretching their specially made plastic more than 4 times its normal size. The key: make a highly porous polymer and then fill those pores with liquid metal. Imagine these 3D stretchable conductors being used to make artificial eyes that restore vision or synthetic skin that monitors blood glucose levels. A bit out there, I know, but science has a knack for catching up with science fiction.
Macular degeneration causes visual distortion and even complete loss of sight. When the wife of chemistry Nobel laureate Walter Kohn was diagnosed with macular degeneration, he wanted to do something. I spoke with him at the recent Lindau Nobel laureate meeting in Germany.
We are developing a corrective device, including interaction with the patient who is following a certain routine and who tells us his perceptions that arise.
A macular degeneration patient looks at a completely regular grid on a computer screen, but because of the condition, the grid will appear distorted. The patient uses a mouse to adjust the grid to appear normal.
We receive from the patient an edited piece of graph paper, and from the way the patient edits it, we can tell what the distortions are that he perceives, and from these we can then develop devices that correct these distortions.
With more and more car accidents attributed to distracted driving, it's become clear just how dangerous it can be to fiddle with your cell phone while behind the wheel. Now it seems more and more people are failing to safely use their mobile gadgets while walking. The number of distracted walkers injured seriously enough to be treated at hospital emergency rooms have more than quadrupled in the past 7 years, according to the Associated Press. That's not even counting the untold incidents of stubbing your toe or doing that little trip-run move across the sidewalk. These hospital cases are people who get hit by cars, fall off curbs, or even onto train tracks because they're too busy texting, surfing the web, or in some other way too distracted to watch where they're going. There were about 1,150 such incidents last year. There isn't any hard evidence yet that proves pedestrian gadget distraction increases the chances of pedestrian mishaps. Still, it's hard to argue with the anecdotal evidence available at the nearest street corner. Perhaps you've seen the video of the walker in California who's concentrating so hard on his mobile device that he almost bumps into a bear. Don't be that guy.
We sign our names to various documents all the time. Some signatures seal a legal contract. Others pledge us to an action. Now a study finds that when and where someone signs a document can influence the likelihood of them being honest or cheating. Scientists had people sign more than 1,300 auto insurance forms. One group signed at the top of the form, the other at the bottom. And those who signed at the top admitted to nearly 2,500 more miles of usage than those who signed at the bottom, which translated into about a $48 difference in annual premiums. According to the researchers, because the top signers put their names on the document before they were even tempted to fabricate information, they are less likely to act dishonestly. The study is in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Many people routinely deceive themselves to rationalize dishonest behavior. The $345 billion gap between what people should be paying in U.S. taxes and what they claim isn't just due to chronic liars. It also depends on normally honest people stretching the truth. Perhaps having taxpayers sign their forms before filling them out would cut down on that stretching.